Okay, let's get to fucking work, dog. Welcome in, fam. Much love, Trav here. Hey, traders. This is primarily for my own benefit. I'm happy if you learn, though, with me. Yeah, so not financial advice, not telling you to copy trade me. You guys know I'm in a pretty horrific drawdown, really. Just trade horribly. So many consecutive losses. The fuck am I doing? And I will say, well, it hurts. This is what I need to put in the work to advance my system. If I was just made a lot of money, I wouldn't really learn anything. I'd be spending money, I'd be coasting. Instead, I went into drawdown and I learned a new setup, which is the breakout setup. And I took my first ever breakout trade today. And I'll show you what this is what the setup looked like on ETH before I took it. So there is a diagonal trend line that I'm entering just beyond, but for this setup to be valid, it must have at least 4 levels nearby. 2 of them need to be local, 2 of them need to be old. So we have 2 untouched highs from the last week, and we have 3 untouched highs from November. This is important because when we mix new short stops with old short stops, it drastically increases the probability that we have a short squeeze. So if I go into my breakout setup, breakout, properties, price approach, okay, let us say this. Control X, Control V. Price must consolidate, okay. Enter on diagonal break into at least 4 untouched levels, 2 of them local, 2 of them old. Okay. Stop loss in midpoint of previous range. Aim for past major liquidity area. Hop and board same directions. Okay. Now, for my inside ladder, I'll look for entry after major liquidation level. Exhaustion, trend reversal, target major liquidity. I need to do this, add this. Trade must be in direction of major liquidity. Cannot be inside and away from. This has cost me a number of times. Okay. Trade must be in direction of major liquidity. Cannot be inside and away from major liquidity. I have to wait. Must wait for major liquidity to be taken. Either major liquidity, either on chart or HY block to be taken on BTC or ETH. Okay. Trade must be held towards target. Yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna look at this breakout trade. So price approaches right here and perfect breakout. So here you see my execution on. It's currently running at about 2R, which makes up for the 2 losers that I took. And the idea is just to actually possibly close up here. It would be reasonable to close in here though, and then wait and do another breakout if we consolidate underneath this. I think that would be fine. And yeah, so if we go and look at the 1 minute, I had this diagonal. Basically, the moment we broke the diagonal, we launched. And that was also coincided with, yeah, as soon as we broke this level, we gapped up. So I like the idea of trading just inside this level because if I'm market ordering on this gap, I might get filled up here because it's a stop market order. So I wanna enter right before the liquidation. So I'm gonna add that here on my breakout. Okay, that's important. Enter right before liquidity to prevent major slippage on market order. stop market order. Now I also need to, on my sweep into gap, I also specific entry criteria, insert one row below. Trade must be towards untapped major liquidity, can't be inside untapped major liquidity. Now I also want to look at where I fucked up badly. Let's turn off, because that's all I've been doing, but I'm ready to get back into this. Now I took $2,000 losses, and for whatever reason, somehow I only risked 250. I meant to risk 1,000 on this. Paper trading is kind of bullshit sometimes where these weird things happen. So even though I'm in drawdown, like, I'm counting this as a 2R win. Like, I'm just trying to go up 5R. But I kind of just want to trade. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to stop fucking up. And I know what I need to do, and I have a new setup that it makes sense to trade already. So let me add to my focus here. This is what I need to focus on. I'm gonna put it at the front. Focus 1, hold trades to target. Do not close early. Do not close early. Trust stops. Hold trade to target. Do not advance stop until trade has moved significantly in favor. Significantly in favor. Accept losers and let the trade run. Okay. Very important. That's the most important thing. 2, trade, take every available valid setup across BTC and ETH with 0.5% risk on each trade. Okay. 3, make sure I am trading towards major liquidity and not inside and away from major liquidity. These are the 3 focuses that I need just to focus on. But number 1 would have made all the difference in the world. I would be having a monster huge month, even with so many losses. A single win would have run for 20, 30, 40R from the lows. Okay, now let's look at, I want to log out of paper trading. We'll log out. Okay, so let's take a look at the charts. Let's do it like this. Yeah, as we drive higher. Now, I fucked up so badly because I identified both on Bitcoin and ETH. We have like I long here and I long here. Wrong. Like I need to wait for an inside trade to a couple things. Okay. A lot of things. So first of all, let's go back to sweep into gap. Specific entry criteria. Insert. Okay. If trading with high time frame trend, enter on a poke of the gap. If trading against high time frame trend, enter on sweep of the gap. Okay, so here we have a large gap. Okay, this is a poke the gap. I should aim above these highs at the very least, and aiming up here is reasonable too. Okay, poke of the gap. Now I can also, with this diagonal right here, it's not a great breakdown because we have multiple, I mean, it would have worked. We have multiple, yeah, maybe it would have been fine because it would have worked. Although it's possible that, no, we wouldn't have slipped that bad. Yeah, this would have been just a quick 3R. So I'm okay with taking more versions of these. So I would have got to poke the gap fill here. And if I let that run, it's running up. Okay. Now, I want to point out that I was correct that there would be an inside ladder long on both Bitcoin and ETH, but in my execution, I fucked it up. I fucked it up on ETH by not having like, the stop needs to be right here. I had it too close and I got stopped out. This trade should be structured something like this. And if we target up higher, it would be running at, like, I could be out of drawdown today if I had just structured these trades correctly. Like, I was right. I could have done this even tighter. But I fucked it up. And what would this be running right now? It would be running right now at 6R. Now, I had this on Bitcoin too. The problem with Bitcoin is that I closed it early. And the reason I closed it early is because I'm just like fucking up. I need to quit and stop and go do something else, man. Like, I need to paper trade. We're coming for this high right now. Now, I took a inside short here, which is wrong. This is not valid because we're trading inside of major liquidity, which is still the 20 up here, 24. So yeah. Now I had a inside long. It looked a little bit better on the BTC perp because this candle went down. This candle was lower than this candle, so we had cleared the major liquidity. And I did trade long here, but once again, I fucked it up. I'm ready to stop doing this. Like, I traded at something like this, although anything like this would have been reasonable than just aiming for 24. This was my idea, this is like a 14R, which I got to fill, and then I just closed around break even because I don't know, like, I need to stop doing that. That's very important that I allow my trades to run. Now, I guess there was a breakout here, but I wasn't that interested in doing it. But if I let this run, it would be running at 8R. Again, I could be out of drawdown right now. Now, let's think about where we are right now. So I'm ready to stop what I'm doing or stop fucking up. Yeah, I took a loss here. The sweep of the gap did not work. So let's think about what probably will happen. We're just approaching here. Breakout up to 24 seems, and 26, like, it's just so painful, but that's the pain I need to learn. Like, I foresaw this. I was targeting up here, down here, I was saying, extending my targets to 20, 21, 24, 26. And I just didn't do it, but we survive and I'll have opportunities to continue on with my life and my trading. Okay. So now we're going to look at the charts here. It's very likely we go to 26,000. The next stop maybe 23,200. 23,100 is the big level, which we're not that far from. In the 3-month. In the 1 month, let's look. Okay, so up to 23,400. 23,000. But if we take this, like, I think we go pretty quickly to 25. Like that's my major target. So we think like a poke the gap. Probably makes sense here. So to do a daily exhaustion, we would need to close up here, and then I could consider a short above there. Now, to trade short, if price comes back in here and then starts doing this, then we can do a breakdown short. I'm interested in a pullback, but not a breakout long yet, because we need local liquidity too. So that's something that maybe could happen. But I think a poking of this gap makes sense. Something like this. Aiming for the major liquidity up here on both Bitcoin and ETH. And also just swallow my pride and say, trade like trash, but it is what it is. Now for ETH, we still have to me major liquidity up until at least this high, 1800. I think new highs is quite likely, like 22,000, something like that. So I'm interested in trading a poke the gap on both of these. Although, so I don't necessarily want to trade the first poke. Like I want to see price do this, and then I'll trade right under that low. First inside that low, and then below that low. Probably. So I'm not sure if it makes sense to feel like it makes sense to wait for that first pullback. And then again, like I want to see price do this. I want to see it bear flag underneath the low in order for me to break out long. And then if price wants to come struggle above this on this trend line, then I can break out short down below. So what is the play right now? The play right now is okay, so let's look at examples of this where this one we did not even poke the gap. This one we consumed this gap. This one we didn't even poke the gap. This one. But here we had this is a good breakout, valid. New and old levels. This one had new and old levels. This one had new and old levels. There's so many breakouts we could have traded. This one had a pretty major retracement. This one had a major retracement. So different things worked at different times. But I think it makes sense to I mean, there's also where we just continue trend continuation, like we should. We're just under these major levels. We should liquidate higher. So what is my system saying? Daily exhaustion says no trade. Up here, maybe I can take a trade. 1 hour gap. My sweep into gap says up here we can take a short. Okay. Inside ladder says we're still inside liquidity, can't take it. So we have an inside ladder long and we can wait for a build up, right? So something like this might be possible, like with a retest, where I can aim for the middle. Like we shouldn't necessarily sweep this gap. But if we come up here, this gets a lot less good. So, okay, my stop loss should be within this trend line for now, from wherever I would enter. This is the most valid trade I'm seeing, is a pullback inside ladder towards major liquidity, which there's still plenty above. We have nearly taken this one. We have taken this one, but it's increasingly likely we take that one now. There is a world where this is what's going to work, but the problem I have with that is that makes it more likely we have a breakdown, and also how often have we not even retraced? I'm finding it hard to be precise here. I think this is probably the correct thing to do, but it's hard to be precise here. So typically, we will get a sharp poke into here. My stop loss needs to be inside here and above this trend line. My target can be at least over here at 24. I think like right here might make sense. And just within here can make sense. We shouldn't take these lows unless we're gonna break down here. I think there could be a good short that will develop to take us back to under 20,000, under 2,000, under 20,000 at some point. Possibly. I mean, this one never broke though. Like, this liquidity just kept building. And any kind of breakdown short never really happened. Because, yeah, I mean, maybe here might have tried and failed, or at least moved. I think for breakouts and breakdowns, advancing stop loss is okay, actually. From what I've seen, it generally is okay. But yeah, we just kept trending insanely. So much money left on the table by just being bad. I think something like this might be okay for a 4. I'm gonna trade live, like I can do it. I can hold my trades. So stop loss should be above this trend line. Target should be over the major high, the next high. Entry should be somewhere in this gap. Again, I'm not going to trade a breakout here. Like, obviously this one worked on ETH. That could have worked too. However, it's important to have consolidation. Does it make sense to short here? No, because we're still inside of major liquidity. However, again, once we're near this trend line, I can think about breakdown shorts. Down to here. But for now, let's try a retracement. I'm going to take every available trade. We're going to poke into here. My stop's going to be just if I want to be really safe, my stop should be right here. I think that is unnecessarily safe though. Or not great because my risk reward goes down considerably. And we're quite bullish. I understand, like, we'll probably have a candle like this that's going to cut quite in, but again, once that happens, I can take another inside ladder long. And if we get a sweep, then I can trade under that sweep and take another inside ladder long. So it looks like there's a good chance we get a pullback. I'm not going to short inside this. I'm going to, yeah, take every available trade, which is a, yeah, it looks like we may just keep flying higher. Okay, let's redraw this. This trend line is important. Yeah, the ideal price action for me would be a flag just under here, where I could have breakout longs or shorts on either side. Okay, on the 1 hour, a very rough setup on the 1 hour, and we're gonna narrow it on the 5 hour. Like this, targeting here. Ideally, my stop should be inside this level. Now I can make it a little bit better, 2.5% stop, 2.14% stop, something like this. And if we just keep breaking up, that's fine. It kind of sucks that I've lost so much money and I haven't participated, but in order for a breakout trade, which wasn't really valid on Bitcoin, we need to have local, I want to have local liquidity as well as old liquidity. So wherever we stop and we flag underneath, we can think about trading above. Now, let us try to predict where this new range is going to form. Something like this. I'll try this. Stop above this trend line. If we come down and we hang out on this trend line, we can break out short. If we fill and pump, we can do an inside ladder long. Advance our stops. Makes sense if we sweep these levels, can try again with an inside ladder again. And if we go higher, we just wait for things to compress and consolidate again. So I'm going to do this something like this, 24. Now let's zoom out. Why 24? No, honestly, it should be right at this high. Something like this. I think it's likely to just go. But yeah, it's not a valid breakout for me yet. Something like allow to retest this level. Trend line for support. ETH targeting this high. And honestly, probably try to target up here. Whether that happens, who knows? But yeah. If it continues to trend, then I just wait for another opportunity. But it kind of makes sense to retest some of these levels. At least pull back inside this one. Think of the 1 hour, like something like this might be better. Poke of this large gap. Stop just below these gaps. Now we can try something like this. So we will aim for this high. And for Bitcoin, we will aim for above this high. And I will trade every available setup. Again, we need a flag in order to do this. And I'm just gonna trade live. I can do it. We can do it. Okay. And I'm gonna risk 0.5% per trade religiously. So let's do this. Back testing. No. Trading model live. Live trades. Right now we're trading 0.5% risk. This equals 0.005. So right now I need to trade $1,100 for each. I understand they're correlated. That's okay. If we just launch higher, it's fine. It's not a valid setup. Okay. So this is like a inside ladder retracement into major liquidity, poking the gap. I would be interested in longs under here, but also I would interested in a breakout trade down to here, breakdown trade into here. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of trades that happen. The way that my system works, it's going to trade a lot. It's going to produce 30 to 40 trades a month total Bitcoin and ETH. So yeah, I need to just let them run. Let's see what happens. Trust my stops. Okay, so I'm gonna risk 1,100 each religiously. I really don't want to fund my trading account, but if we draw down, I will. For Bitcoin, there would be a chance of getting stopped out, obviously, but I feel like my stop is likely in the right place. by the time it gets down here, if it does, this trend line should act as support, and if not, then I can cut and go short under the trend line. So let's use a 2 point. Yeah. I trade like an absolute fucking monkey, horribly, but ready to turn my shit around. Okay, I'm gonna start also reduce my leverage because I'm trading with wider stops, and that's gonna require more leverage to not get stopped out or to not get liquidated and pay those penalties. Okay, 30. Order by price, order by cost. Order price will be 21924.2, buy along with stop loss. I accept these losses. I will not advance my stop loss prematurely. And I will not okay. Targeting 25,300. Okay. I like the look of this one on ETH. 1,100. Let's go to ETH. I understand I could be stopped out on both of these. I will allow that. ETH USDT. We have 30 leverage. How wide is my stop with ETH? I'm gonna do 35. Just want to make sure I have plenty of margin. To eat, order by cost, order by price. 1633.64. Long, my stop loss is going to be 1590.36. This is not correct. My stop loss is actually narrower. ETH. Okay. Sorry, that's how much I want to spend. Stop loss will be, or my take profit is going to be up here above that, all the way above that high at right here at 2200. Okay, now once again, here's my plan. If I get stopped on these, then there's possible breakout shorts that will develop. Unless I get stopped in expansion, then I can do an inside ladder long. If we do this, I could do an add-on here. If we... Why? That's fucking annoying that my undo button doesn't work. Something like this, right? Where's my stop loss? 1590. So I'm not going to do a breakout. It made sense to do a breakout down here. Breakout long. If we take this level, that's fine. We come down, then I could do another breakout long later. And yeah, I need to just accept this pain and use it to get to fucking work. I need to not stop out my trades prematurely. I need to take every setup that's available to me, which is, and I need to look every day and take every available trade. And I will risk 0.5% until I grow my account, and I can lose 20 straight trades and blow up my trading account And guess what? I can just fund it again and I'll be okay. But yeah, are these trades valid? I believe so. I'm trading a on-trend retracement towards major liquidity. And there's a good chance it doesn't fill, and we just continue up, which is fine. And if that's the case, like trading short inside this wick, I'm just not going to do it because again, we took this major liquidity, but we're likely to take this one and this one. I'm probably only interested in breakdown shorts here until we're much higher. Or I can take an inside ladder short if we have aggressive expansion and pullback. So let me put into my focus current game plan. No sweep into gap shorts. Inside ladder shorts can be possible if we get major rejection. Breakdown shorts may develop. Focus on inside ladder retracements. On long inside ladder retracements. Sweep into gaps and breakout longs. Okay, do not close early, trust stops, hold trade at target. Do not advance stop until trade has moved significantly in favor. Dude, I would be coming back out of drawdown if I had just done this and structured correctly. Make sure I'm trading towards major liquidity. So, major liquidity is still overhead. Yeah. Now, I think it's quite possible that we come back into this region, 1480. And what I will do there is I will look for longs in that zone, but also what I will do is if we consolidate over either of these trend lines, then I can look for possible breakdown shorts. But for now, it doesn't make sense. It looks like ETH might be done, but it looks like Bitcoin wants to push up higher because it has not had a wick. These moves almost always end in wicks. I'm okay not participating in this. Yeah, I mean, it looks like we may come up to 24 like today. Take this higher, but at least 23, which is fine. You know, again, in order to have a valid breakout, I need local consolidation as well, which we don't have. So I guess best case scenario for me would be pull back like this. I get filled, but not stopped. And then I can do a breakout long above this line and a breakdown short below this line. And then whichever way it wants to go goes. And if price wants to just keep rocketing higher, then yeah, I'll be on the sidelines, but I'm not going to lose money. Yep. Pain, 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 but pain is what's needed in order to get better. So I accept this pain. And if we go higher, then I can look at this trend line and I could consider advancing my limit order to right here. If we leave this gap behind and create another gap, then I can look to trade into that gap. But yeah, I'm ready to do this and to get the fuck to work too. I need to eat and move on with my day right now. But I trust my system and I'll make a lot more than I would have made from whatever. Was I able to take the ETH short? From 1691. No. Okay, much love and peace. Yeah. See, Bitcoin wants to take that. Bad, 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 but you know what? I'm gonna make so much more from what I've learned. So how could this, yeah, this, I don't really see a valid breakout on Bitcoin from this flag because of the way it looked, really. I mean, it would have worked a breakout like this, just ripping higher, I guess. Yeah, I need to try practice breakouts more. They're really good though. I can already tell. Okay, much love. Talk to you guys later. Peace.